Session of the school committee. At this time, we'd ask that you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This time, I'd ask that we observe a moment of silence for our troops serving overseas. Thank you and good evening. We'd like to begin with a share of the success portion of the agenda tonight. We had over 1,000 students participate over the February vacation. Students gave up their February vacations in order to get extra tutoring help from some of the best teachers in Lawrence and from around the Commonwealth. We have a short video presentation to show you some of the work that was done over the February vacation.
We're learning about segregation and what they did.
I am learning about this book, Freedom Walkers, and it's talking about the boycott protest, if some of you don't know. It's about a protest to end segregation.
My name is Darren Santos. I'm in grade 5. Oh, it's fun. I like learning a lot of stuff. In gym, we're just playing, and in the classes, we're reading a book and writing about it and answering open response.
I like to say this is a great program. I like this. We're doing a lot of things like dodgeball, cooking, and play that game we're doing it right now.
My name is Amber and I'm in 5th grade, and I think this program is really fun.
We're learning how to cook pizza and steak. We're making a pizza, we're making sauce with steak and cheese. We have like different stations and everybody's working on one.
So I'm Shayla, and we're in the South Lawrence East, and where we were doing an egg project of how to see if it can crack if we put it like a car or crash. And I'm 11, and we're in South Lawrence East Middle School.
My name is Jasmine, and we're in science class as an academy program, and we had to be smart and protect the egg as a passenger to see if it cracks or anything.
It's pretty fun than regular school, and I'm really glad to be here because, like, if I was in my house, I would have probably been like laying down watching TV. But right now, I would have been having fun.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, open it up, check it.
It died.
No, not even close.
Meet him. Yo, that died. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No.
Let me see. You know what? You and your dumb protection.
But they're on Instagram. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, right.
Acceleration Academy rocks.
Again, thank you to all the teachers that participated. This was a great week of extra learning for our students, given the incredible number of snow days, previous and future, apparently. This is great to get some extra time for kids that need a little bit extra help. So congratulations to all that did the program. We're going to go out of order a little bit today, if that's okay with this committee, and ask Matt Evangelista, the director of the theater at PFA, to come up and talk about the Fringe Festival. Our students were invited to participate in the Fringe Festival, which is a very prestigious festival in Scotland. They are currently raising funds to go there, and I believe they're also going to perform a small skit based on that. Very small. Okay, please have a seat.
Thank you guys for having me today. So we last year we were nominated to represent Lawrence at the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh, Scotland. This is a huge award. We were nominated for our original production, Circle Game, which is written about the stereotyping of urban students, specifically that of Lawrence students. So we were nominated last spring, and we've been fundraising and working on the production for 9 months now. We're in the last 3 months. We've raised just over 50% of the total cost of the trip, and so we have quite a ways to go, but we are moving quickly towards that final goal. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. The production's going up next week, March 14th and 15th at 7 p.m. for $5. So you get to kind of see what we're going to be bringing to Scotland. We've processed over somewhere between 75 and 100 different grants and individual personalized letters from the kids asking for support from the community. We have donation boxes in half the city. We've got several other events. We're doing a children's production of The Hobbit in April for all the elementary and middle school students that are interested in coming to see that. And so the last leg of this kind of journey is to reach out to the community now and ask them to kind of help us push this last fundraising effort. So we have 3 months left, and if everybody in the city could give us $1, we could go on the trip, no problem. And so we really kind of got to think about that. So we really need to just as much support as we can possibly get, getting the word out there. We've made it very easy for people to donate. They can go online, and we're asking them to give us $5 and give us $5 donation through our site. And we have a whole bunch of information in the back. We've got stuff running on the TV. We've got stuff at the schools. We've got stuff everywhere. So anyone can contact me via the website, and they can even donate right on our main LPS website.
Can you tell us again what the website is?
Sure. So you can go right to the regular www.lawrence.k12.ma.us, which is the regular high school site. And if you scroll down to the left, there's a donate button, a little bit about us, and our last Eagle Tribune article that came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago about the trip. The donation site is www.fundly.com, and if you just search up PFA Goes to Scotland, you can find us there as well. And so we're looking for another 2,000 people to donate $5. We are underway, so spread the word, get the city involved. We want the city to send these kids. The show is about them and about how outside communities judge these kids and how much more difficult it makes for them to get to progress further in their education. And so this is really this was taken directly from students' lives over the past 5 years that I've been here, and so it's really a story about them and about the city.
Sure, they're going to do a brief performance now.
Yep. So we have 15 students going on the trip. These guys auditioned and were chosen based on their academics and their performance techniques. So we have almost all juniors and seniors going on the trip with the exception of one sophomore.
If you need help, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Natasha.
I remember he cared more about Gabby than I did.
I remember the fight.
I remember the first time he said, "I love you."
I remember the day he was born. I remember losing my patience with him.
He had to stay strong.
It was all his fault.
I never realized how serious our relationship was.
He protected me. It's up to you to decide who you are.
We're stuck in a loop.
She doesn't talk to me anymore.
Victor had so much potential.
He was a good son. What would you expect from a kid like that? He was
my
such a
brother.
waste.
Every time you watch the news, pick up a newspaper, read a magazine, or walk into a new city, ask yourself, are your judgments keeping us in our circle?
Thank you guys very much. Really
You may have
appreciate
questions
it.
for
Oh,
you.
does anyone have any questions?
I do, math.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Have we tapped into local businesses? You've probably done this.
Yes, we've reached out to several of the businesses in town. We've got the Rotary Club's working with us, so they're trying to get us a nice grant from them. We've sent out about 70 letters to individual businesses that we think could handle a larger scale donation. Eastern Bank has given us so far $3,500 towards the trip. They just gave us another grant. We're asking everybody whatever they can give. So it doesn't have to be a $10,000 grant from a company. It can be those $5 and $10 donations that are going to really make the difference in making this trip a reality.
As a point of information for next year, I'm on the Cultural Council here in the city, and if you had applied, you can apply for a grant, and the council will give you money towards future productions.
Sure, that'd be wonderful.
So, I'll try to remember to make sure you get an application. They're due in the middle of October.
All right, great, thank you.
Okay.
We want to get in contact with you either to donate, either through here or I could bring it to the school.
Yeah, anyone can mail anything, of course, directly to the school, and just attention my name to the high school, 71 North Parish Road, Lawrence, Mass. 01843. Just attention Matt Evangelista. Go onto the website, or just give me a call, and I will come pick something up.
Do you have flyers already made out?
We've got flyers for everything. We have flyers in the back of the room tonight for the production next week. We have flyers going out for the Hobbit to the middle schools and elementary schools in the next week or so. And there's just general information about the trip. And our Eagle Tribune article came out, so we have a whole bunch of stuff on the Eagle Tribune site as well that's up now.
Okay. Could you
Go ahead.
email me that information if I could pass it around?
Absolutely, yep.
I think, one thing to point out, I think you said, but is that I think it's next week you're going to do the production.
Yes.
So anybody that hasn't seen the Circle game before can go and pay the $5 or give even more, watch the show and donate to the group.
Yes, they
and
can.
that money's going to
directly to our trip. And the show, it's a festival show, so it has to be relatively short. So it's only running about 40 minutes. So you're not going to be there for 3 or 4 hours, having to sit through a show. So it's about 40 minutes. So we start at 7:05, and you'll be out by 8, and we do little talkbacks with the students afterwards. And a lot of community support and community discussions actually have shaped a lot of how the show has been run.
I have a question, sir. I wasn't here. I had an emergency call. What is the main purpose of your group? I didn't say it. I have to apologize at an emergency call. What is the main purpose of your group?
So we're the theater department at the high school.
I understand that, but you have to have a purpose.
So we were nominated for this for excellence in theater. And so the objective specifically for this production isn't just theater education, but it's community betterment. And the piece is written to represent Lawrence and to kind of show the reality of what it's like sometimes for urban students, and kind of the stereotypes and the judgments that they have to deal with. We've had a new mission. We wrote a new mission statement 3 years ago for the drama department to have more of a focus on social awareness. So we've done projects like the Laramie Project, and we've done productions like Hairspray to kind of look at how we've progressed as a country, as a city. And this is just the next step for these guys is to not just, we did this for North Andover last year. It was wildly successful with the North Andover kids. And we do this at festivals all over Massachusetts, but now it's kind of the next step to bring kind of the ideas and the stories of Lawrence to an international audience as well. We'll be doing this for high school students from all over the U.S. We have some South American students that'll see this show, students from all over Canada, and of course from all over Europe.
Well, your Laramie project, I was impressed with that. I'll tell you the problem they had. That boy, they must be crazy, those Wyomingians anyway. But I was impressed by that thing that you had. And good luck. And again, I apologize for not being here to see it, but I had an emergency call. And anything you can do to enhance. And they were wonderful. They all walked in a circle. They could all be good stormtroopers someday. Good luck and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This time we'd ask Mary DeFelice to come up. Mary is a teacher here in Lawrence and is the leader of the Lawrence High School mock trial team, where students compete against, and Lawrence students compete against other high schools on certain court cases. Recently, Mary's team defeated many towns, including Methuen and Andover, and lost a heartbreaker to Lexington, which would have propelled them on to the state regional level. And they've just had an amazing run of success. And I asked Mary just to come to congratulate her, but also to have her talk about the program briefly.
Thank you. When I first came to the school here in September, I asked Mr. Beninato if he would be interested in fielding a team. In my prior life, I was an attorney in New York, and we fielded a team. We asked for interest, and immediately we got at least 15 students came on. 13 of them stayed on. It's a state competition where they actually have a mock trial where we actually put on the case. We had prosecutors and defense. It was a little old lady, 91 years old. She was worth about $25 million. And there were some greedy nieces and nephews that were looking for some money. There was a caretaker that was looking for some money. And there was some criminal charges placed against the grandnephew. And our students were the lawyers. Our students were the witnesses. It was an incredible experience for all of us, including myself. I considered it quite the honor. Over the moon excited for them. They did objections, they entered evidence, they prepared openings, they prepared closings, they did direct examinations, cross-examinations, and they did the entire trial. Our first trial was against Methuen. We went right over here to the Fenton Judicial Center. The first school went in. They didn't have to go through the metal detectors or anything. We heard one of the bailiffs say, as our kids were going in, these kids are from Lawrence, you better check them. So they went through the metal detectors, they checked them. My kids were pissed off, they were upset. We used that to our advantage. We put them in a room, and I said, all right, now use that to show them where you're from. And we won.
Congratulations. Sometimes it's great to be down.
So then we went to the next trial, and we won. There was a tiebreaker for the division, and unfortunately we lost on Friday. But I think these kids, we talked to them today, and we have a meeting tomorrow. We're going to keep going with debate, sharpen their skills for next year, and we're going to keep it going.
Questions from the committee?
Yes, I'm amazed that you were an attorney, gave that up to become a teacher. You're an amazing lady. I mean, I know how much attorneys make. You gave up a lot for the kids, and I say, you got to be a wonderful human being. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless them, really.
And God bless us all. Might as well get everybody in here, too.
Well, just make it
Might as well get everybody.
Other questions from the group?
Well, first of all, let me commend you and the kids for turning a negative into a positive and winning. Next year, state.
No kidding. And we actually have a student right here, Jesse, from the
Stand
circle
up, please,
game.
Jesse. Congratulations. Muy bien, Jesse.
Next time, can you send us an email? I would definitely love to attend.
Oh, I'd love to have you. That'd be great. Thank you. I will.
Are these just PFA students, or are they high school wide? Or?
High school wide, the whole thing, but mostly PFA students. And part of it is the performance, so it really did lend in well with what the school stands for, so it was very good.
I have a question of your recruit. How are these people recruited? Say you had 100 people and you needed to get down to 20. Is there some sort of audition that they take or some sort of preparation? In other words, how do you cut down the field?
Well, this year I didn't really have to cut down the field. We had enough people to field one team for each side. Many schools have to double up. They do defense and prosecution. We had enough students that we were able to field a team for each side. In the future, if we have that many, then we will. I mean, in fact, we talked about that for next year, to have more tryouts, because a lot of students are expressing interest in the.
You know what amazed me? You said back when the kids went through the court, and the court officer, someone said, watch them, they're from Lawrence. Have them read the papers at North Andover, Methuen, and Haverhill, what's going on. These kids are better than those 3 instances going, but I gotta congratulate you on that. You're giving up a lucrative career, become a teacher. What nobler venture could you have? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Ma'am,
much.
just one more thing.
Oh, sorry.
I guess next fall, when you start the group again, if you can send us an email, I think there might be some individuals out there that might want to be able to help. I know I did mock trials back when I was in high school, and our teacher at the time, he had like 1 or 2 attorneys meet with us, and that helped.
Great, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just briefly, I think, you know, we continue to see in our schools the great things that our kids are capable of. Every day, our kids are able to compete with Methuen, Andover, North Andover, really anyone in the state. We just need to keep giving them the opportunities to succeed. So with that said, we'd like to talk briefly about the JROTC program at the high school. Congratulations to that program for earning a spot in the national competition in New York City. The JROTC team will be departing from campus at 12 o'clock on this Friday, March 8th. Please wish our cadets and instructors a safe and successful trip. Once again, congratulations to them for making the national competition.
Mr. Riley?
Yes, sir.
Where are they going?
They're going to New York City, I believe. Yeah, New York City.
Okay, the buses are provided and all that stuff.
Buses, permission slips, field trips, chaperones, the whole 9 yards.
Thank you, Mr. Riley.
Thank you. Do we have the 5th grade Fitness Academy, soon to be named Spark Academy, step dancers with us today? Yes, we do. Can we bring them up?
Thank God you got a couple of males. Great. They are good. Congratulations, kids.
Mr. V will be teaching you those moves in the coming days.
Oh, I could use them. Just bring the resuscitator.
Fair enough. At this time, we'd ask, we're going to move to the update portion of the agenda today and ask for Franklin McLaughlin to come on up so we can discuss the LTU Partnership School.
The president is not feeling well. I want people to know that. He's not 100%.
I'm a teacher, so I'm going to do a little lesson here. So, it's great to see so many kids at the Lawrence School Committee. Why don't you give yourselves all a hand? You know, that wasn't a very good hand. Why don't you give yourself a real good hand? You know, I've been coming to these school committees for a long time, and it's really great to see so many children, their parents, and their teachers here at the school committee. And I'm sure some of you veteran school committee members would agree with me that this audience looks great. And so give yourselves another hand. You know, truly, that's what we have to remember when we work here. The most important thing in this city are the children of Lawrence, the asset, the jewels. And with that, I want to introduce myself. My name is Frank McLaughlin. I'm the president of the Lawrence Teachers Union. If you're here from Lawrence High School, you might recognize me as Mr. Mack. In fact, my top student, Mimi, is behind the camera filming, so she better do a good job. I will truly say about Mimi, Mimi is an A+ student. There's no better kid in Lawrence High School than her, and you know, I want her to know that. But I want everybody in Lawrence to know that the Lawrence Teachers Union and your teachers are very committed to the children of this city and to move the city forward. So with that, I've brought with me from Washington, D.C., some special people. From the American Federation of Teachers, I have Chris Johnson, who's in the back. And I just want you to stand up. I have you can clap for my people at the end, but I just want to have Deputy Director Barbara Palazzo, who has come up from Washington, D.C. I have the Executive Board of the Lawrence Teachers Union with me, Vice President Doug Sullivan, Vice President Kathy Delaney. I have Secretary Kim Barry. I have our Treasurer Nancy Pachuk, our Financial Secretary Jim White. They're all here tonight. I also have a lot of teachers from the Oliver School. And if you're in the back, you can wave, you can stand, and you should be acknowledged because you're giving up part of your night. I always like school committee meetings on a Thursday because it was really easy to get up on Friday, and we all have to get up on Wednesday, so I'm going to make this brief. I have a statement that I'm going to distribute to you, and I'll distribute to members of the press about what's going on at the Oliver Partnership School, which we're really excited about. And the Lawrence Teachers Union and the American Federation of Teachers are very excited about our work with Superintendent Riley and the Lawrence Public Schools to develop an innovative and collaborative model of education reform with the Oliver Partnership School. If done well, we believe that this has the potential to be a real game changer for students and teachers. As you know, later this year, the Oliver Partnership School will become a labor management community school that will provide students and families with services beyond basic instruction. In order to help achieve the achievement gap and to allow students to succeed both in and out of school. The new Oliver Partnership School will give every student an improved educational opportunity by providing them with the programs and services intended to address their unmet needs, including extended learning time, academic enrichment activities, and health services. We are excited to begin the work with a variety of service providers to help give students the resources they need to thrive. The redesigned Oliver Partnership School will open in August and will aim to provide curriculum aligned to the Common Core standards of the Massachusetts curriculum frameworks, extended learning time that will have a strong emphasis on academic enrichment, services to address children's needs that affect their academic performance, like medical, dental, nutritional, mental health, and other social services, which will be phased in according to their needs. social workers and or behavioral specialists to work closely with parents and students. Needed services for parents to encourage parental involvement and family stability. Professional development for teachers, including coaching on effective teaching methods. And finally, a robust teacher evaluation and development system that puts an emphasis on continuous teacher improvement. I look forward to working with Superintendent Riley, parents, community, and especially the kids, to make the Oliver Partnership School a model for improving the state of education for the students in a collaborative way. Thank you so much. And with me sitting next to Superintendent Riley is the building representative of the Oliver School, Maureen Santiago. And also in the back, we have the stakeholder team of the Oliver School that include Shauna Hamilton and Jamie Riley, and they've been working very, very hard the last couple of months in this effort.
Frank, do you want to come down and take questions from the committee? Or do you want to stay there and take them?
Well, I put Maureen next to you so that things would look better. But I'm used to standing, and I had my notes here, and that way nobody can see what I'm doing. So if anybody has any questions of me, and if I can't answer the questions, I have a lot of people behind me that can give you the answers. And I'm also available to talk and meet with any school committee member individually, you know, if they'd like to.
Thank you. As this committee knows, the Oliver School went into level 4 status recently. As part of the plan to turn around the school, we are breaking it up into 2 schools. Unlocking Potential is going to take the middle grades, and the Lawrence Teachers Union Partnership School is going to take the elementary grades. They put together a strong proposal, and we look forward to working with them to make this a great school for kids. With that said, we'll open it up for questions.
Mr. President, you're looking marvelous today. How long will this take to improve the Oliver School? Do you have a time period?
We have a time period, day 1.
You're going to improve on day 1?
Yes.
You are amazing. Thank you.
Frank, and Superintendent, this seems like such an exciting project. I'm so excited about this happening at the Oliver School, and I look forward to great things happening there. Is there any way that we could have a copy of the proposal just so that we could, you know, get up to speed on what exactly is happening at the Oliver?
I'm sure we'll forward all the paperwork that we have, and we invite the community. All you have to do is Google our website, Lawrence Teachers Union. You can come up, but we're very transparent. Any and all of our documents are there, and I'm sure that the school department will provide, they are our partner, will provide any documents that you need. This is a real exciting proposal. There's nothing anywhere that I can think of that's been done like this, and at least not around here. So we're very, very anxious to try it, and we're very, very anxious for it to be successful. It's going to be all modeled on best practices, and then hopefully, you know, it will be replicated in other parts of the city. So we are looking for success.
Mr. McLaughlin, how is it different than any other school in the city? Like, what is it that makes it stand out?
Oh, the Oliver School that's different in the city is the Oliver School is my neighborhood. That's what makes it different. It's special. And in the teachers, and we know the community. We know the kids. And this is a school that's for a long time has been neglected. We've had a succession of principals. We had the school moved from the old Oliver location to the current Lawrence High School, and the good news is that it's going to be moved back. It's going to be an elementary school again. The school department is going to put some significant resources in that building in the short run, and in the long run, they're going to look to do some long-term renovations to it. We're very excited to return. I look at the building and I call it this old house. But more important is what's going to go in that building. And what's going to go in that building are the children of that neighborhood. And the children of that neighborhood that have been shortchanged for such a long time. And I believe, and you know, if you were on the school committee before, that I got up and I spoke about some of these situations. So I'm really excited to help turn it around. I've been a teacher in Lawrence for 32 years, and this is the most exciting thing that I've seen in my career.
You spoke about evaluations. Is the teacher union going to be conducting the evaluations? Are they the ones who came up with the plan? Was it the district?
Well, we're going to follow what the with the changing evaluation is right now. The thing is that when we look at an evaluation, we don't want an evaluation to be a gotcha. We want an evaluation to be a help ya. And right now we are going through a new evaluation process. This is our first year, and I know that the school department has been working with it. But we know that there are a lot of good teachers there, and we know that sometimes it doesn't come out in the evaluation. But if there are some shortcomings and the evaluation tool identifies it, we're not looking for punitive things to be done. We're looking for corrective things to be done. We want to put the best teachers in the classroom. But we also want to put the best kids in the classroom. And the best kids, I know, looking here, there are some terrific kids. There are some terrific kids, but we're going to say something that kids may not like to hear. We're going to ask you to work a little bit harder. We're going to ask parents to push their kids a little bit more. And we're going to be successful, I promise you.
How are you going to do your selective process? Are you going to move the teachers that are there to the other school? Are you going to bring in new teachers? Are you going to hire your new principal?
I mean, right now we want to see any teacher that's there, we want them to be there. Obviously, anybody that wants to be there should be there. And we have, fortunately in that school, we have a lot of teachers that were selected Teacher of the Year. So we have a lot of good role models. We want our teachers to stay. And if any teacher is falling short, we want to help them. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in the American Federation of Teachers from Washington. We're going to bring in their nationally acclaimed professional development program. And we're anxious to begin it this school year. We want to start. We want to put a whole host of topics that will help kids. Help kids. That's all we want to do. And so our professional development will be around that. As far as the leadership is going to be a partnership model, and it's going to be a co-leadership with one individual taking on the responsibilities of the management of the building, and the other individual taking on the responsibilities of the management of the educational component. There's going to be an inside school council over there. In that council, we're going to include the community, the parents, the teachers, and the administration. And we're also going to reach out to partners in the community to help this school. We are around a lot of great resources in that neighborhood. I'll tell you, Lawrence, take a look at Lawrence. All the schools is in one of the best neighborhoods in the city. It sits on the Common. It's 2 doors down from the Lawrence Public Library. It's across the Common from City Hall. YMCA is around the corner. The Heritage Museum is down the street. Essex Street has a lot of great supportive services there. Everything that you need is there, and everything to help children and help families we're going to use. For too long, they've deemed these schools a failure. Listen, nobody comes to Lawrence to fail. These parents don't come to this city to fail. These parents come to this city for the American dream. As many of your parents in the past have come to the city for the American dream. And the American dream is alive and well in the city. And it's going to continue with the Oliver School. It's going to be themed around Henry K. Oliver. Henry K. Oliver was the former superintendent of schools in the city of Lawrence. A great man, a Harvard man, graduated from Dartmouth. And, he was a Renaissance man. He thought of the future, and the school is named for him. So I don't know if you ever looked at if you ever read the history of Phillips Exeter Academy. Phillips Exeter Academy in the 1850s was an old classical school, and most of the students went to Harvard. But what they did is they looked towards Lawrence. They looked toward Lawrence back in the 1854 when Henry K. Oliver was superintendent of schools to change and see what direction the United States should be going for a modern direction for its education. And they invited administrators from Lawrence to come in and administer their school. So there are connections there. And what we want to do is we want to revive those. There's so many things we forget about this city. You drive by Lawrence High School, the old Lawrence High School, that big yellow building. It's the only big mill building in the city that's gold, because our fathers wanted us to understand that's the most important building in the city, that education is the gold of this city. And so we need to turn that around. You know, for too long we're being declared the bottom of the barrel. We're not the bottom of the barrel. And we're not going to be the bottom of the barrel. We are in the barrel, and we're going to swim to the top. And this city will turn around. This city will turn around, and this city will turn around with Jeff, with the teachers, with the parents, and especially the children.
You have a follow-up? Go ahead. If you have a follow-up, go ahead.
Okay. Now, you know I have a very big stake in the Oliver because I was on the turnaround plan, stakeholders group. And we've gotten a lot more in this stakeholders group from all the requests we made for this school. And if anything that I can do, continue doing to moving that school forward, as well as any other school forward in the city of Lawrence, I'm willing to do and be there for you.
I appreciate that. And you were an asset on that committee. You truly were.
Mr. McLaughlin, I just had a question about what is the state of the building? I know, you know, the two parent, I don't really know too much about the project. All I know is what I read in the Eagle Tribune. But after that, the article came out, I've had in the last week about two parents come up to me and they've asked me what's the state of the building. Because last we heard it was kind of run down. I mean, I suppose now that there's a lot of stuff that's fixed. So can you just speak a little bit about that?
The building is in, I don't want to call it, well, what's the prop? You're a teacher and you need all the adjectives that you can use. The building needs work. The building needs significant work. I sat down with the superintendent last week and we talked about a plan to do that work. I don't know if you've been over to see what's been done at the Leonard School last year, but we're talking about doing some similar things in the short run as was done at the Leonard School. They're going to scrape the paint. They're going to fix the walls. They're going to fix the ceilings. They're going to put covers on the radiators, fix the windows, replace the furniture, go into the bathrooms and make it, you know, look like something that you know, that a child should not be ashamed to go into. It shouldn't be, school shouldn't be a scary place. School should be a safe place. We're going to make it inviting. But I need, you know, I need help with that, and the superintendent has pledged his help with that. As I say, I'm only half of the equation. The school department is the other half. We're a partnership school. We can't do it alone. It's not a union school. And as a matter of fact, the administration and the teachers can't do it alone. We need the community. We need the parents. We need the children. We need everybody.
Frank, I'd like to commend you for your enthusiasm for this project. I mean, I am sitting here and I just can't wait to see it up and running. And if there's anything that I can do to support that project, I'm more than willing to help out also.
Well, I've had a good record with you. We've worked together in
Right.
projects in the past. We put together the Montessori Learning Center.
We certainly
If
did.
anybody remembers that 20 years ago, which was probably the finest preschool, private preschool in Lawrence, Massachusetts, when it existed back in the 90s. And I know the work that you did, and then later the work that you did at the Leahy School. And we're looking for leadership. You know, we're looking for people. We're looking for people like you, frankly, Pat, just like you, to come and help us and to come and push people in that direction.
I'd love to help out. This is, I just can't wait to see this up and running.
Now, I don't know. I mean, there's so many of you on the school committee do know me personally. Yeah, some of you have had in school, including the chairman.
Vice chairman.
Vice chair. Who, by the way, was an A student. And who, by the way, we brought in the same curriculum that they were doing at St. John's Prep. And Pavel had no problem with it, as did his peers. So I know, Pavel, you know what can be done. We know what the kids can do. Okay, we know what your father was like to make you and your sister to do the things that you needed to do. But look at you now. You know? And really, I mean, every time I see you, it's just, I'm just so proud. Just honest to God, so proud to see the things that you've done. You know, I remember going to Washington, D.C., and you were working there as Nikki Songus' intern, and God, I felt as proud as your dad. And I feel that about a lot of the kids. You know, a lot of the kids. You know, Jimmy Blatchford, I remember you in high school. I'm so proud of you. I remember the things and how far you've come, your sister, and so proud. We know what Lawrence kids can do. And we know that there are a lot of Lawrence kids out there doing a lot of great things. And it's because of the school system. And we just want to continue with that.
Can I just ask one more thing? But by our next meeting, can we have someone just talk about what LPS is going to be doing as far as to fixing up the building? Because I feel like there's probably some concerns. I mean, the last time I went to the Oliver was like about 3 or 4 years ago, and I know back then there were issues. So I think if there's just some information that's put out there just to assure parents that everything's going to be in tip-top shape by the time school starts in September.
We'll be more than happy to do that. We're happy to bring Chris Merlino to our April meeting, who will go down the list of repairs that are going to be made, talk about the new furniture that's going to be installed. We have a short-range plan and a long-range plan. We will be putting significant money into the building over the summer. However, a longer-range plan needs to be thought through as well, and as we make sure that our kids have a place that is always going to be of high quality. Much like Mr. McLaughlin alluded to, when I came, the Leonard School was in a state of disrepair. We were able to put significant dollars into it. We were also able to bring in Boston Cares, who brought 250 volunteers in to paint the building, to fix the landscaping, and to really make it a place where kids deserve to go to school. And I think if those of you who have been over there have seen the change in that building from what it was to what it is now. And we look forward to doing a similar thing at the Oliver School. Okay, thank you very, very much. Yes, oh, absolutely.
I really didn't want to speak. But on behalf of the teachers of the Oliver, we want to thank everyone for their support. Frank, for the stakeholders. We have seen our local district representative at our stakeholder meetings, Mr. Riley, everyone from LTU, just everyone, thank you for the support, and we're ready for this challenge. And we are ready for some stability in our school. So thank you very much to all of you.
Back to the Maureen, I want to thank you and all the teachers in that school for all the hard work you guys are doing. And continue doing.
We're going to continue.
All right, we have papers to correct. These kids need to get to bed.
They are dismissed if they would like to go. They're more than welcome to go at this time, and then we will take a 1-minute recess and then move on to the family engagement portion of the agenda.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Back. One of the activities that the school committee has been involved in recently has been going to some of the school PTO meetings and the open houses that have taken place. Pat Mariano has taken charge in this area with the support of other members of the school committee. I know she recently and some of her colleagues went to the Leahy School. I'm hoping that you could take some time to talk to us about that, as well as future meetings that may be taking place.
Well, thank you, Superintendent. On February 13th, we attended the Leahy School's PTO meeting. Mr. Vittorioso was there and Mr. Cirillo was there with myself. There were approximately 50 adults in attendance. The presentation was done, the PowerPoint was done in English, and we had a Spanish translation done by Juana Espinoza, a school counselor. The entire presentation took about 45 minutes, and it was followed by questions from parents that we fielded as the school committee members did. I thought the questions were very thoughtful, and they were related to the topic presented. For the most part, the parents were very, very engaged. They enjoyed the presentation, and we left, and I'm going to ask my colleagues to comment, we left very excited about our maiden voyage out into the school system. And I'm going to open it up to Mr. Cirillo or Mr. Vittorioso.
I'll pass to the junior council member.
I mean, parents had a lot of questions. Curriculum. The Leahy was talk about not having a gym for the kids. The principal had already started making plans with I believe it was the
YWCA, yes.
YWCA to have the kids go over there for the gym. But parents were very receptive, and for the first time they got to talk and hash out whatever questions they might have about the turnaround plan, their roles, the school committee's role, the school's role.
Mr. Vittorio, so
Okay, he was, brevity is always good. I was impressed by the number of parents there and the questions that they had. Some of the questions pertain to the fact that what happens to my child when he leaves this school. Well, I graduated from the Leahy, then I went to the Oliver. Oliver wasn't a junior high. To me, the parents there cared about their kids. And I can truthfully say, and I don't care who takes it, some parents don't care about their kids. They think the school system can be the mother, puppy, daddy, and everything. Can't do that. You have to be interested in your children. And the questions that the parents posed, and Ms. Espinosa translated it, a lot of them were Latino parents. How can we improve the educational possibilities for our children? And of course, Mrs. Thriller brought it up, and Ms. Mariano, the gym was a major concern. Then I brought up, under the rules of the State Department of Education, you have to have gym. It's one of the things they didn't take away. Then the principal, Mrs. Sullivan, said she was engaged with the, what was it, Frank? The YWCA. And it's going to be elongated. It has to be at least 2 periods because you're marching the kids down. You don't want to take buses. They need the exercise. But I thought it was very engaging, and the parents that were there, they were interested in their kids. And the kids were there, could see the mommy and papi are here because they're interested in my education. And to me, that is the number one ingredient needed for children to succeed in any public school, the participation of the parents, which I was very delighted with. And the parents, like I said, and like I told Mariano, Mrs. Mariano, the drinks gave me agita because these mixed drinks, pineapple with the lemon and all that, and they got me a little bit sick, but that's all right. But it was a good turnout, and I graduated from that school, and I graduated from the Oliver, and things have changed. The status of the students, different complexion of the student. But the one thing that I saw and liked, every parent there was interested in one thing and one thing only. How is my child going to succeed and move from this school to the other? And to me, that was the most impressive. The parents cared. I wish there were more parents there, but we had a lot of them. And to me, success for a child in any public school, the Andovers, the Methorns, the Phillips Academy, is parent participation. And I've always said that, and I'll say that until I leave this committee. I don't see enough of it in Lawrence.
Well, thank you, Mr. V. Ms. Mariano, can you talk about next steps for us?
Sure, and just to answer Jimmy, I think that was a first step for us, and I think going out as a committee and visiting all these schools, we can encourage parents to become more involved. I think this is, the parents are seeing a different side of the school committee. I don't think ever before the school committee people went into the schools and presented like we presented that night.
No, it's a first, and that's thanks to you who initiated it. The more that you can get the parents involved, the more these children will succeed, and I believe that's one of the big deficiencies in the city of Lawrence Public Schools.
All right, and to that end, Jimmy, that's a good segue. Mrs. Malone surveyed the schools and asked them when they would be having open houses, PTO meetings, etc. And she compiled a list that she sent to us in our packet. I looked at the list, and the end of March is report card time. And I don't think we should infringe upon the schools at that time.
No.
Parents are coming in to pick up the report cards, and I think that's the most important thing at that moment. But what you have before you is a tentative schedule. Joni handed that out, that I've done. There's 4 or 5 schools listed there that are having PTO meetings this week and have indicated a specific time when we can go. The first one being, and it might be a little bit too soon, is this Thursday at 8:30 at the Hennessy School. what I've included in your schedule is a slot. It would be nice, I think when Frank, Jimmy, and I were there, it's good to have 3 members there so that we can answer questions from the parents and the parents can relate to us. So I kind of left it at 3. The Hennessy is this week, and followed by the Weatherby and PFA are the same night. So I'd like you, if possible, to consider signing up for some of these PTO meetings for this month. At the bottom of the list, you'll notice that the Frost Middle School has offered to schedule a meeting just for us. So if we can come up with a date that we'd like to go to the Frost Middle School, Principal Baranowski will schedule a PTO meeting so that we can go. Like I say, personally, I don't think we should go report card nights.
No.
I think we should stick to the PTO meetings that are scheduled. So with that being said, here's the schedule, and I'm looking for volunteers.
I would, if the snow, Mrs. Mariano, isn't dastardly as some predict, I wouldn't mind going to the Hennessy School Thursday at 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
if the snow permits it.
Okay. What I'll do is, if you'd let me know when you're going to go, can we do that now, Jeff? And I can, or do you want us to do it
I'm wondering
after?
if people need to check their calendars and they could
All right.
email you. I don't know if that's probably the best way to do it.
We're Thursday, we need to let Mrs. Lamo know if we're definitely going, if we have enough people to go Thursday, because we need a flyer that's gonna go home to the school tomorrow. We can either do it this Thursday or hold off, give it enough lead time, and, because they meet the first Thursday of every month. So,
I think, yeah, if not enough people sign up, then you should just make the decision and we can do it next month.
Yeah,
For
that'd be
the
better
8:30
weather.
one, yeah, and I think it's gonna snow that day too, so.
It's supposed to.
No more snow.
no.
Climatologists are always
All
right.
right, let's leave it at this. Let's scratch the Hennessy then for this week, and let's plan the Hennessy, if you just change your schedule, would be April 4th. And just if you could email me and let me know who will be going to the specific schools. I'd appreciate it. And then I'll forward back to you all the information that you need.
It's a
Yes,
yes,
Joan.
looks
Yeah,
good.
and- Yes, absolutely, and the superintendent.
Okay, so before getting to final questions from the committee, I just want to alert the committee that we will be sending budget documents to you in the near future as we gear up for budget season. And we want you guys to have all the information that you're looking for as we go forward to make the budget for next year. With that said, we'll take any final questions before we move to public participation.
Mr. Riley, sir,
Yes.
as the test results come back for grade 6 and 10, and no, it's 6, 8, and 10, the MCAS tests, do they come back?
They're taking the tests this month. You'll see some test scores over the summer, and the most are come back in the fall.
What are you looking for, Mr. Riley, in their 6, 8, and 10 grade? What are you personally, as the #1 man in the school system, looking for from the kids in Lawrence, 6, 8, and 10?
Well, I don't know if I'm looking for 6, 8, and 10. I'm looking for K to 12.
Okay.
We're looking for improvement. We recognize it takes time to move the needle, but, one of the goals we had is to try to increase the number of schools that are actually closing the achievement gap. Currently in Lawrence, there are only 2 schools that close the achievement gap. 2 of our level 1 schools, we're looking to double that number. 3 schools, I apologize, Leahy as well. We're looking to double that number to get at least 6 schools that aren't losing ground anymore, with pretty ambitious goals in year 3 and year 5.
When Principal Panowski was here, she's very impressive, but she still didn't answer the question I put forward to her. Why is your school in the South Lawrence East doing well and the other schools aren't doing well? She never answered the question. I have an answer for the question, but I'm not going to give the answer to myself and the committee. Let them find it. When you have only 2 schools, I know are harping on it. When you only have 2 schools that are achieving out of maybe 10, 15, 20 buildings, there's something wrong. There is something drastically wrong. I think I know, but I'm not. I'm going to play Mickey the Dunce. let you and the others find out what it is. But when you got two schools, there is something definitely wrong, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have an estimated time of when the Parent Resource Center is going to open up here?
Some of the offices have already moved down. I think the official opening will probably be at the end of this month. We were delayed a little bit with snow and other issues, which took a lot of our manpower off the case. But I know that Mr. Molino and his crew are working hard to get that up and running. As I said, several of the offices have already been constructed and moved down.
Superintendent, the Acceleration Academy, I was very impressed with what I saw, the activities that, briefly, that we saw there. What are the plans for the spring?
There will be another Acceleration Academy over the April vacation. The focus for that one will be mathematics.
Okay.
We're looking to recruit our best teachers from the district to help us work with small groups of students.
Will it be the same students coming back, or will you?
Students are identified by needs. So if a student was, for instance, very strong in math, but struggled in English, they probably went to the February one.
Okay.
But some students will go to both. We really take a lot of data on the kids to try to figure out who needs the help, the correct intervention at the right time.
For the partnership school, he mentioned two principals. It was one manager, essentially day-to-day operations, I
Yep.
assume, and the other one is the principal in the sense for academics. Hiring process for both of them?
So they have a co-leader model. That's what their proposal indicated. They will be forwarding, the Lawrence Teachers Union will be creating a search process, and they will be forwarding the names to me for approval. But they will be carrying the load on determining who they think are the best fit for leadership in that building.
And then for schools, since testing will be going on soon and then results coming out, are you concerned any other schools may go to level 4? And on the flip side of that, are you hopeful that anything will be moving up? So from level 4, level 3, so on?
I think we're hopeful that we will see a few schools move up. We've seen some early formative assessment data that indicates that we may have some schools that are moving. As far as will schools fall into level 4, that's a more difficult question to answer because it really relies on statewide data, not just what's happening in Lawrence, but how other schools are doing across the state. And then they usually look at the bottom of those schools to identify them. Our hope is to stop that bleeding and keep schools from falling into that status. This year, for many of our schools, was a planning year to extend the school day, and we think that ultimately will really prevent many of our schools from dropping into level 4 status. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen until August. Okay. Thank you all for your questions. At this time, we're going to move to public participation. I'm going to remind people there is a time limit. Mr. Molly, you're up.
Good evening, Honorable Member of Lawrence School Committee. When Honorable Mayor Lantigua, in his brave and bold move to save 13,000 children of Lawrence Public School, went to Commissioner Chester and Superintendent Riley arrived in our city to help us with revival of Lawrence Public School. Now, in the era of the turnaround plan of Lawrence Public School, our citizens are asking how we can rally around the plan. When high-paid principals, the same principals that they were #1 causation for downfall of the Lawrence Public School, blame everything on our teachers. When our teachers have become a scapegoat for high-paid principal, blame a slowness of the turnaround plan. Our teachers and our citizens, they must know, rally around the plan while there is no job security for our teachers. We as the citizen demand that this committee hold the high-paid principal accountable for problem with the turnaround plan. In our city, there have been a strong bond between our citizens and our teachers. We demand your support of our teachers and their union. Rally around the plan only possible when our teachers bold and free from any intimidation and retaliation by high-paid principal could come to this committee and at this podium share with our citizens what problem they are facing every day in Lawrence Public School. Rally around the plan by our citizens and our parents only possible when our teachers do not become a scapegoat by high-paid principals. Our citizens and our parents have long-term support and respect for our teachers. Wraparound education in our multicultural city only possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Vittorioso?
Thank you, Mr. Riley. It's always good to follow my friend. Good evening, and I want to wish all the kids that are of the faith and their families a happy Easter, which is coming very soon. And don't forget, Saturday night, Sunday, you have to do something to the clocks. I have two pieces of paper here. It's the Lawrence Public Schools Nova Southeastern University doctoral cohort, and they have the names here. And these, it ended in 2009, and only one person, Dr. Mary Toomey, got her EDD. Now, I don't know what the others are doing, but several of them are gone. But I think we can spend money more appropriately. Now, I had mentioned that 30 students started a program through the University of Lowell, University of Massachusetts. These 30 students had their MEDs, and they were going for certification as principal at Lowell University. Not one of them was hired by the Lawrence Public School System to become a principal. Now, people are going to say, there you go, moaning and groaning. Yeah, because it's my money, and it's your money. You got 30 people that have their MEDs, but they want to be principals in the great Lawrence Public School System, so they get their certification from Lowell University, and not one of them is good enough to be made a principal. Now, come on. I hear a lot of these, there he goes moaning and groaning. Listen, I've been out of education for 7 years. Something is wrong in Denmark. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. V. Retta Sabine? Say that right? Rita Sabine? Oh, you just... Hi, Rita.
Hi, Rita.
Welcome.
Good to see you.
All right.
You're next to one of my favorite principals.
Anna Cardenas? Anna here? Anna Cardenas? Okay. Well, that concludes this portion of the public participation, and this school committee. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Same to you, and happy Easter to all of you who believe.